Today, Destiny Rising's latest event, the Reunion Day Festival, is live, but I know the question we all have is it rewarding or good? Given the history of events in Destiny Rising, there's some reason for pause, but today, I'm going to dive into the event, the specifics of it, and how to succeed with your time in the Reunion Day Festival event. Let's get into it. So according to yesterday's Twitter, there are several aspects to this event: the Reunion Bakery, Festival Contribution, and Reunion Day Exchange Shop. On paper, it boils down to this: defeat combatants using Void, Solar, and Arc Energy to collect ingredients, and defeat Shinkas to obtain additional, rarer ingredients. This sounds familiar. It's because it's pretty much in the same vein as the Dawning event that Destiny 2 typically does, but with a slight twist. This time, you're not making cookies for everyone, you're making flatbread for everyone, and you're completing common and advanced flatbread orders to earn origami condors, incandescence ribbons, and artifactual dust. Condors attained will be tracked on both an individual basis as well as on a pack basis, with progression milestones giving rewards to everyone in your pack. Those rewards are listed as undefined incandescent sheaves, incandescence clusters, and an event-exclusive emblem. There's also an exchange shop for the origami condors where you can trade them for Bon Voyage charms, Pandora 7 decals, a Celebrate emote, a Hometown Memories ghost shell, a Reunion Day theme for your homepage, exotic elemental artifact choice chest, and artifactual clusters. There are also new buff items added to the game that grant 2-hour damage buffs to their respective elemental damage. On paper, this event sounds like it's going to be the most rewarding event we've ever had. But what about in practice? Well, an event like this that works passively with normal play is honestly a really good thing. We see something similar over in Duet Night Abyss with their current Friendly Games event, but the rewards for that event are on a whole other level generally compared to the events in Destiny Rising. You can start the quest today by speaking to Pandora in Haven, where you'll be greeted with a cutscene briefing you on Reunion Day, what it is, and how it came to be. And this type of lore delivery is actually really fantastic, and I honestly hope to see more of it in events in the future. Right off the bat, if we look at the Origami Condors Collection Challenge, the rewards we see are actually really good. 40 undefined sheaves, 5 incandescence clusters, and an emblem are all able to be earned just through playing. Over in the exchange, the Reunion Day shop has more goodies for grabs, including a legendary ghost shell, Reunion Day theme, Celebrate emote, Pandora 7 decal packs, and elemental damage boosting items. There are also elemental fruits, artifactual essence, Bon Voyage charms, artifactual clusters, and an exotic elemental artifact choice chest up for grabs. But it'll cost you. 4,300 origami birds will be required to buy out all of the mythic and exotic items, with another 1,400 being needed for the cosmetic items. There are also enhancement prism choice chests available, which will cost you an additional 1,000 to buy out, and 20 of each of the elemental boost items for 100 each for a total of 300. That brings the grand total required origami birds to 7,000 to buy out the storefront. In order to claim all the bonus rewards, you'll need to personally earn at least 4,200 origami birds, and your pack will need to earn a total of 21,000 combined. Individual progress will net you 3 incandescent clusters, an animated emblem, and 15 undefined sheaves, while clan progress will net you 15 undefined sheaves and 2 clusters. Going into the Reunion Bakery, you can find orders to fill for specific characters that will reward you with specified rewards. Each day you're given 3 refresh chances and 5 total orders. The Speaker, for example, is considered an advanced order and rewards 100 origami birds, 5 legendary sheaves, and 60 bright dust, while common orders such as those from Ayuela reward 50 birds, 5 artifactual dust, and 1,000 glimmer each. Ingredients needed are listed in the order and show the sources of said ingredients too. The Speaker order, for example, calls for coronal oil residue, which is gained from solar final blows in Gauntlet Blitz or Destination Exploration, electrical oats, which are generated from the same source just with arc damage, and decayed chitin, which is generated from defeating Shinkas in Legendary Campaign, Realm of the Nine, Gauntlet Onslaught, etc. Meanwhile, common orders only require generally 1 or 2 basic ingredients. In the example on screen, to fill all 3 orders, I'll need 12 solar, 6 arc, 6 void, and 3 Shinka materials. In order to make farming efficient, I equipped Maru, a void character, with Present Fleet, an arc grenade launcher, and the Han 1 solar grenade launcher. After some testing, I found that the sources are indeed locked exactly as it's stated. In other words, the only place you can acquire the Void, Solar, and Arc ingredients is from public destinations and Gauntlet Blitz. Further, though the Shinka materials are guaranteed drop and can be gotten from a number of places, you can't simultaneously farm elemental materials and Shinka materials in any single activity. so be prepared to have to run separate activities to get what you need. At a minimum, you'll acquire 250 origami birds per day by completing challenges, and assuming you get insanely lucky, which isn't very likely, you could get as many as 500 birds in a single day. We don't know if you're guaranteed an advanced order per day, but assuming you are, you could expect to take in around 300 per day. At 300 per day, you'll meet your individual progress goal of 4,214 days. Likewise, the pack goal of 21,000 can vary depending on how many people are in your pack, but if you have 10 active people in the pack who manage to get 300 birds each, that would come to 3,000 per day. The pack goal is 21,000, therefore, at an average of 3,000 per day, it would take 7 days total to achieve that pack goal. Given that the event is 20 days total and an income of 300 birds per day, you're looking at a personal income of 6,000 by the end of the event. That's about 1,000 shy from buying everything in the storefront, so refreshing your bounties to try and increase the amount of advanced orders you attain is going to be the play, as you'll need a total of 20 additional advanced orders to account for the missing 1,000 origami birds. From my testing through play, I found there to be about a 1/3 or a 33% chance that enemies will drop an ingredient when killed with elemental damage. So, what's the verdict? Is this event any good? Well, yes and no. I have my complaints, but on the whole, my reception of this event is fairly positive. I think the rewards are good, though it will take time to get them, but I'm mostly okay with that. There's also a fishing event that's set to debut during the reunion event, which may even bring in more rewards, which would be absolutely great. If I could change something, I would have liked to have seen the orders uncapped and with opportunities to drop items instead of just guaranteed specific drops and limited. And I would have liked to have seen ingredients available from multiple sources across the game. At the least, I would have liked to have seen a single activity where all ingredients can be farmable, be it Gauntlet Onslaught or maybe even Legendary Campaigns. Something that lets me farm both materials simultaneously would be fantastic. That having been said, since the event is pretty rewarding, I can sort of deal with the current event. That having been said, the reliance on public free roam as a source is just not good. Ad density is far too low to rely on, and the fact that the space is shared means there's a possibility that you might not even get credit for the kill, or that you might not make it in time to get the kill with other light bearers around farming out kills as well. One of the best aspects to solo campaign being a source is the ability to load into individual solo activities and farm the resources, but that doesn't necessarily work in free roam. As a test, I tried doing my daily commissions to guarantee my enemies, and I did find that the first 2 parts of the 3 commission steps allowed me to make some certainty that there would be enemies present, but on the 3rd section, the boss section, which loads you into your own instance, I found that you can't get any resources from it. So though the event itself and its rewards aren't bad, the sources it utilizes to grant you the materials just aren't that great. Being forced into the world would be fine if ad density was increased or respawns were a little better timed, but since the free roam areas feel so dead outside of public events and frontlines, it makes it difficult to get what you need quickly. Further, when in public events or frontlines, since kills from all players don't count for each other and you can only get materials from either personal kills or possibly from assists with high damage input percentages, being forced into a meat grinder with tons of other players all vying for the same kills can be really tough. That having been said, it seems this design was intentional as a way to pad out player playtime, and a way to prevent players from going too far with farming the materials needed ahead of time. On paper, it sounded like an event that just functioned while you played, but the fine print instead makes it a normal event with specific activities and engagement in those activities required to progress. Further, the fact that the event goals are so spread out is intended to make players return daily for at least 50% of the event. Which, hey, I get it. I don't mean to make it all sound negative or anything. I'm not someone who's impossible to please, but the biggest issue is free roam is insanely boring. You're fighting other players for ingredients, and 70-80% of the world feels dead with only 1 to 2 hotspots of enemies outside of your daily commissions, and if another light bearer stands in the spawn area, it seemingly just won't spawn the enemies. To make matters worse, it holds your place during activities. Let me explain. Let's say you go to Jiangxi Metro Icefield and go into the Hive Caves. You finish farming all the enemies, and you open your menu to enter an activity. When you finish the activity, have you ever noticed how you spawn right back where you left from? It's a placeholder. And you launching an activity with your light bearer there seems to keep your position by leaving an AFK version of yourself in place, which prevents the enemies from spawning, or at least seems to. Because every time I've been in that cave, there's somebody just AFK in there, and there's no enemies anywhere to be seen. You could get around this by farming Gauntlet Ops Blitz for your ingredients, and honestly you likely should, as being limited to 6 players means you'll have less competition for kills, but it can get old running it over and over, and if you can't get all the materials in a single run, you'll have to run it back. Then once you've gotten the normal materials, you'll have to go into another different activity to get Decayed Chitin. Now here's where all of that becomes irrelevant though. Today is only day 1. Once you've completed your first day's worth of grind and the requests go away, you can continue to farm out materials at your leisure. That means if you decide to farm out some of the new weapons and the new blitz encounters, you'll be getting those materials passively as well. Same with legendary campaign missions, calamity ops, gauntlet onslaught, and challenge mode activities. In other words, so long as you're doing normal stuff, you'll find that you're not having to grind too much for additional resources, and instead, you're passively receiving them. Casual players will still likely have to put in some targeted grind time, but higher playtime players will likely have no issues past the next initial day. Here's what I recommend. If you're wanting to farm out elemental ingredients, stick to Gauntlet Blitz and farm for weapons while you're at it. Looted or not, you should be able to get the ingredients. For Shinkas, activities like Legendary Challenge Campaign and the Expanse make things easy, and since you're guaranteed to get the ingredients off a Shinka kill, going into limited access or more solo modes will ensure you can farm them quickly and efficiently. I'll likely be testing to find the best possible methods for farming, which I don't think I will make a long form video of, but I may do a short on it in the near future if I find something substantive to report. Credit where it's due, Netties, this is a vast improvement over 90% of the other events you've done thus far. If you keep this momentum up with future events, I've little doubt that they'll prove successful. Anyways, happy farming, Lightbearers, and see you in Jiangxi.